Hello, in this video we're going to look at experiment 14 from the BrightSparks Edu teacher guide. Now in experiment 13 we looked at charging our capacitor. Using our wind source we managed to raise our voltage and have charge in our capacitor, but as soon as we moved that airflow, you should have noticed that the capacitor discharged back through the turbine, causing it to spin, and therefore we didn't retain any of that energy store. So in this experiment we're going to look at something, a circuit and a means to store that energy for later. And we're going to incorporate a diode. So here is our diode here. You can see that we have a red positive terminal and a black negative terminal, and our circuit symbol for our diode here. Now diodes only work in one direction. So if we attach it to our circuit so that the capacitor can't discharge, then that way the energy is stored in the capacitor and we should be able to use it at a later time when we want to. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to disconnect our multimeter. There we go. So our multimeter is disconnected and we have our leads here from our turbine. So our black lead is going to go to the black negative terminal of the capacitor. The red lead from the turbine is going to go to the red positive terminal of our diode, and we're going to wire these in series. So we're going to use another lead here and we're going to connect the lead to the red positive terminal of our capacitor and then connect it to the black negative terminal of our diode. So we have now connected our capacitor and diode in series to our turbine. Now to get our voltage reading, we need to connect our multimeter in parallel to our capacitor again. So the red lead goes to the red positive terminal of our capacitor, and that goes to our volt and milliamp socket on our multimeter. Lead from the COM socket of our multimeter goes to the black negative terminal of our capacitor. Okay, so once again everything else is set up. Our wind source is already set at the optimum distance. We need to make sure that when we do the experiment we put on our safety glasses. We evaluate the area around the turbine and make sure that there's nothing that can interfere with the propeller blades or get tangled into them. And we make sure that our propeller is fitted securely and also that it can spin freely. So I'm going to switch our multimeter onto the 20 volts DC setting again, and I'm going to switch on our hairdryer. So you should slowly see that the voltage begins to rise. So you're storing charge into your capacitor. So make sure that your capacitor is fully charged. Now this time I'm going to switch off the hairdryer. Can you notice the difference this time? you can see now that the turbine has stopped spinning and we still have charge reading on our capacitor.